Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50, we're following several breaking news stories. In the last 30 minutes, we learned a woman was shot in the leg in Durham. That's in addition to 3 other people shot inside a car. Plus, power lines down in Raleigh and a crash that caused destruction on Rock Quarry Road. And 9 cars burned in Wake Forest. An investigation underway there focused on possible arson.
And weather-wise, we're going to get a nice break here, at least for the next couple of hours from rain and storms, but definitely more on the way. Make sure to stay weather aware. We're going to talk about when this gets here coming up.
And changes at the DMV. For the first time, we hear from the department's new leader. The new weekend hours coming to some locations. Well, thank you so much for joining us here at 8 o'clock. I'm Eric Miller. Got a lot to talk about today, and that includes our forecast. Anthony, we're starting off damp today, and well, we're only going to get damper as things go on.
For sure, yeah. And this next line of storms is really going to be here probably later on this afternoon. So if you need to get anything done here the next couple of hours, you should not have any issues. It's probably about 4 o'clock or so, and then up until probably 10 o'clock for rain, and then the severe risk 4 to 8 p.m. We could see some strong winds, a brief tornado or two. Our tornado threat is there. It's not off the charts, but it's something that's usually 0. So we're going to watch that anytime it's a little bit of a risk. Here is the latest model, though, on Futurecast, a high-resolution look as we go through today. It tries to pinpoint a little bit more as we go through the afternoon and evening where these cells are going to set up. There is 5 o'clock, and what this one is doing is trying to keep these a little bit more discrete versus a line. If that were to happen, that could, in theory, bump up the tornado potential if we have enough instability. There's a look as about 6 o'clock or so, and then 8 o'clock, most of this starts to push on out. We see that round coming through, and then we start our weekend off quiet, and then another round of storms tomorrow afternoon. We're going to talk about all those details here and get you an update on the weekend forecast, Ken, coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Anthony, a couple of things we want to bring our viewers' attention to on our live traffic map this morning. Here it is. Let's start with this crash on Oberlin and Clark Avenue. This is right near Village District. We're not seeing any delays in the area, but you know, that sounds familiar to you in terms of, yeah, that's your morning commute. Just know you see some police activity in that area. Over to the east of Raleigh, this crash on Pool Road and New Hope Road. Again, we're not seeing any delays in the area, but just be mindful of those police activity as you're heading through there. As we isolate the Beltline, we see some congestion really building on that southern loop of the Beltline, starting at Lake Wheeler Road. It picks up again down around Jones Franklin Road, but really nothing that's going to make you late this morning. So just give yourself some extra time, if you will. And that's what I'm talking about. Courtesy of our live cam network, you see those slow moving traffic in those westbound lanes. Now, over in Durham, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown on those lanes heading to I-40 this morning. You can see it right there. As we check the sensors, this is what we're looking at. Maybe you're looking at a 5-minute delay if you're heading north into Durham this morning. Just a 2-minute delay for those of you heading to I-40 using I-885. As far as with other major routes into the Bull City, very little to no delays at this hour.
Ken, thank you very much. We want to get you right to those multiple breaking news stories we're following across the area this morning. We're monitoring 2 different shooting scenes in Durham. In the last 30 minutes, we learned that a woman was shot in the leg, and earlier this morning, 1 person was killed, 2 others hurt after being shot in their car. Also, multiple vehicles are on fire following an incident in Wake Forest, and in Raleigh, a crash brought down power lines on Rock Quarry Road. We start first at that scene where 3 people were shot in that car. It happened around midnight on Romont Drive in Durham. Ali Kadlabar is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, you spoke with a neighbor who actually heard those gunshots.
Yes, and that neighbor was very shocked. I just spoke with another neighbor about 5 minutes ago. She was walking her grandson in the neighborhood, shocked to see that this stretch right here blocked by police tape. And we want to show you exactly where police found those 3 victims with gunshot wounds. You can see that back windshield, that major hole in the back windshield. You can also see evidence markers as well as how close it is to Whippoorwill Park. Now, we want to walk you through what the scene looked like. We know police have been on the scene since around midnight, so for the past 8 hours. Now, video shows officers investigating this car around 2 this morning. That's the that's the car that officers on the scene tell us they found 3 people shot inside. Now, Durham Police Department also says that they responded around midnight to find a man and 2 women shot in the car. Police say all the victims were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The man has since died. And we spoke with a neighbor who heard this shooting overnight and was shocked that it happened so close to a city park.
Right here, close to a park. I mean, literally, the park is no more than 5 feet away from this crime scene. This is insane. Literally, we got little kids, a lot of little kids that stay in the neighborhood. And again, I mean, such a friendly neighborhood. I mean, it's just truly shocking to see that this is occurring here.
And in the past hour, we've actually heard from Durham police with an update that this is an active investigation. No arrests have been made. We have seen detectives go from door to door in the past few hours as well. So we're working to find out if any suspects have been arrested or if the conditions of the victims have changed, as well as what led up to this shooting. We're going to keep you updated. Reporting in Durham, Ali Kadhabar, WRAL News.
Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. Also happening in Durham, police called to another shooting, potentially a drive-by shooting. This was on Crest Street. They got the call about 6:30 and showed up there and found a gunshot wound victim there, a woman who had been shot potentially in the leg. Now, another woman on that street says her house was hit by some gunfire, and she sent us a couple of pictures right here. One of them, as you see right there in the siding of the house. There's another one here, almost looks like it could be inside a door of her house right there. And a third one, this is on Crest Street in Durham, shows a broken window right there. So police are definitely investigating this as a potential drive-by shooting, and they say they also are not sure that it's not connected with what Ali Kadhabar was just reporting from across town there. So we'll stay on top of both these shootings out of Durham.
Jeff, some scary moments there. Thank you. To more breaking news, hundreds of people are without power after a car crashed into a utility pole in Raleigh. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live on the scene and on Rock Quarry Road. Kelsey, power crews have been working on repairs.
Yes, Eric, they've been here for at least 4 hours now, and you can see them. They're working on that power pole. We know that more than 200 customers are without power right now. That's about 300 less than the original number we first told you about earlier this morning. We're not expecting for folks to get power back here until about 9:15, and you can see that car there hit the power pole, and there's just been some serious damage to it. Debris is just scattered all over the ground. And we know that as far as just a landmark here, that this crash happened in front of Redeeming Love Missionary Baptist Church here on Rock Quarry Road. For now, traffic isn't really impacted. A couple of trucks are parked in this right lane, but cars are easily able to get through here. We do know that the driver that was in that car is in the hospital this morning, so we're working to get an update on their injuries. And we're also working to find out what led up to this crash. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And more breaking news just after 3 this morning. 9 cars burned in the parking lot of a Wake Forest business. Authorities are treating it as a possible arson. This happened outside North State Pools on Capcom Avenue. The Wake Forest Fire Marshal is currently investigating the cause. New reaction as the head of a Raleigh church admitted to using $400,000 in COVID-19 relief loans for personal use. Word of God pastor Mitchell Summerfield admitted to falsifying applications for pandemic-era government loans. Court records show the recovery loans were for a business Summerfield owns outside of the church. He pled guilty to using the money for personal gain, not towards the business or expenses or paychecks. Former U.S. Attorney Michael Easley Jr. explains why many fraudulent relief applications were approved during the pandemic.
There's a delicate balance between how we safeguard the American taxpayer's dollar, but also try to get that money out and in the hands of the people who need it before our economy faced a tremendous tailspin.
Now, Pastor Summerfield hasn't faced sentencing yet. He faces a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison and $1 million fine and at least 5 years of supervised release. A Wake County child care worker is accused of biting a 2-year-old. Court records show that Kayla Drakeford Williams faces child abuse charges. This all happened while the child was being supervised at Creative Kids Academy on Strickland Road in Raleigh. She's expected in court on June 25th. We've reached out to the Kids Academy for comment. This morning at 9:30, we'll hear how North Carolina's new DMV commissioner plans to improve service for customers. Paul Tyne will be joined by Governor Josh Stein and Secretary of Transportation Joey Hopkins at that news conference. Tyne will address what's being done to deal with those ongoing DMV challenges. That news conference begins at 9:30 at the DMV office on New Bern Avenue in Raleigh. It comes as the DMV is preparing for some new walk-in hours at 20 offices starting tomorrow. Locations include Clayton, Durham East, and Johnston County. Those offices will be open from 8 a.m. until noon through August 23rd. Today, you can learn more about the plan to get cell phones out of Harnett County classrooms. The school district will use the Yonder program, those pouches you see there on your screen, bringing in secure phone pouches during the school day. The program will start in all Harnett middle and high schools in the fall. Details will be shared with parents in several info sessions. Today's virtual meeting information can be found on school websites on the district's Facebook page. Happening today, the Raleigh Apex branch of the NAACP is rallying to demand action against Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman. They're highlighting the case against Holly Springs man Henderson Atwater. In 2024, Atwater was convicted in connection with a series of pellet gun shootings that started in March 2020 and was sentenced to decades in prison. Atwater has maintained his innocence. Today's press conference will be held at 10 a.m. in front of the state legislative building. 100 ICE detentions. That's how many people are now being held after a raid on a Florida construction site. What we're hearing from Homeland Security about those arrests. Plus, celebrating tradition, the Raleigh Greek Festival starts today. What you can expect at that event and your other weekend best bets from our Out and About team.
And we head here into our Friday morning, or the rest of our Friday morning, with a look at Carolina Beach. A beautiful shot, some sunshine peeking through. We're going to track some storms that are on the way, though, and get you an update on the all-important weekend forecast coming up. Heading through the next couple of hours here on our Friday morning, we still have the potential for just a quick hit or miss shower or thunderstorm, but most of us are going to be quiet here in the next little while. Isolated areas of rain, we quiet down by about lunchtime, and then through the afternoon, let's say 4 to about 8 o'clock is our severe risk potential for us today. The weekend, though, some good news for you. We at least have one dry day headed this way, and we should still see, despite those rain chances tomorrow, a lot of dry time on our Saturday until we get to the afternoon. 78 degrees to start off with it for us tomorrow, so that is a little bit below normal. We should see a nice mix of sun and clouds, though, on Sunday, 80 degrees, and then we start to heat back up as we get through next week. Tomorrow afternoon, there's going to be that chance yet again for some strong storms coming in. We aren't under a tornado threat at this point, but just today, tomorrow, make sure to stay weather aware. Sunday is the pick day this weekend, Ken.
All right, looking forward to that. And happening right now, we're going to start in the Bull City. This is a look at I-885 and TW Alexander Drive. You can see traffic has definitely picked up in both directions. If this is part of your morning commute, here's what you're looking at. Really, just a 1-minute delay, just a whole lot of traffic when you really think about it. As far as the other major routes heading into the Bull City, very little to no delays if you're heading to Durham this morning on all major routes. Coming up, we'll take a look at some of the major routes heading into the capital city.
Ken, thank you very much. More than 100 people are being held on ICE detainers in Florida after an immigration raid on a construction site. Homeland Security says some of the detainees were previously deported and some have criminal backgrounds. The local sheriff's office says it's unclear what charges they'll face. The construction company says it will cooperate with the investigation. New this morning, a step towards a truce in the Middle East. Israel is accepting an American proposal for a 60-day ceasefire with Hamas. The deal calls for the release of 10 living hostages, as well as the bodies of 18 others. However, Hamas says the deal does not meet its demands. That would include a permanent end to the war. Hamas also wants humanitarian assistance to Gaza carried out through UN channels. We'll take a look at this. A tornado that tore through a subdivision in Georgia hurt at least 2 people, one critically. That tornado hit Locust Grove. That's about 35 miles southeast of Atlanta. It left behind damaged homes and downed trees. Neighbors say an 18-year-old was thrown 100 yards from his home and was found in a nearby field. He's currently in critical condition. His father was also hurt. A town in northern Canada is under threat from dangerous wildfires that are burning out of control. Hundreds of people have been forced to evacuate the area near Swan Hills, Alberta. The fires have burned more than 11,000 acres. They're being fueled by extreme heat, low humidity, and strong winds. A state of emergency is in place for all of Alberta currently as dozens of wildfires burn across the province. Happening today, the Museum of Natural Sciences in Raleigh will be hosting state officials for an event aimed at highlighting the impacts of Medicaid expansion. Researchers from UNC Chapel Hill are expected to present new data about how that expansion has affected rural health and the economy. 650,000 North Carolinians have gained access to affordable health care through Medicaid expansion. The event starts at 9 a.m. Some UNC Chapel Hill faculty members are concerned about their tenure. So far this year, the overall number of tenured professors is down, and not a single professor in the College of Arts and Sciences has been granted tenure this year.
Will we be able to hire? Will people take jobs if we offer them to them next year? That's what people like me are concerned about.
In a statement, UNC officials say nothing has changed with tenure policies. Tenure-track faculty, including those in the College of Arts and Sciences, are still eligible for tenure. The timing is subject to a number of variables. The soccer tournament, or TST, is back for its third year in Cary next week. There's an expanded women's field with 16 teams this year and a $1 million prize for each of the men's and women's 7-on-7 squads. 20-year NBA veteran and TST investor Chris Paul says it's always a good time for families and soccer fans.
It's very festival style, and this year we'll have 134 matches, 64 teams, and it's nothing like seeing those teams score that last goal to know that they won $1 million.
As not a bad prize. The TST runs June 4th through 9th at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary. Hey, if you just can't wait for something to do, we've got festivals, comedy, and baseball. Those just some of the ways to enjoy the last days of May here in the Triangle. Let's take a look at the WRAL Out and About Best Bets. The Raleigh Greek Festival kicks off today at the State Fairgrounds. The Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church family will be making authentic food using recipes handed down for generations. You can also enjoy live Greek music and traditional folk dances. It starts at 5 tonight and runs through Sunday. And comedian David Tell will be on the stage at Goodnight's Comedy Club this weekend. He has 2 shows tonight, 3 coming up tomorrow. Tickets start at $42. And it's a full weekend of fun over at the DBAP, taking a live look out there where that rain tarp has just been peeled back. The Bulls are hosting the Memphis Redbirds. Tonight, of course, is Wizarding Night with fireworks coming up after the game. Fireworks are also planned for tomorrow night. On Sunday afternoon, kids can run the bases after the game. You'll also get the chance to make and take home your own Lego Ninjago figure. For more information on these and other events, you can go to WRAL.com and search Out and About. And Anthony, turning to our forecast today, Out and About is not the only place it's busy. Our forecast's very busy as well.
Yeah, I feel like we just need a break from all these storms that we've been seeing. I know people are obviously and rightfully so kind of storm weary. What we're looking at today, though, and tomorrow, we still have the chances, but Sunday and through the majority of next week, I can reassure you we're looking a whole lot better, and we should have some drier weather on the way. But let's start off here with our severe risk for today. So the Storm Prediction Center puts these out, and we should get another one, an update, if you will, within the next little while. By about 9 o'clock is what we should get that by, I would say. 4 to 8 p.m., though, is when we could see some stronger storms, and this covers essentially the entire state of North Carolina. What is likely to happen is a line that starts to develop in the western parts of the state. As it progresses, though, closer to us, by about 4 o'clock for our western counties at the earliest, it's going to try and strengthen a little bit. If we hang on to the cloud cover that many of us have out there right now, that would be a good thing. That will help to keep the atmosphere a little bit more stabilized. We may not quite see these become super strong. If we get more sunshine peeking through, we could see some of these cells be a little bit stronger. So the ingredients are at least there. Whether or not the atmosphere kind of puts them all together and combines into some storms, we're going to see. I think at the very least, we're going to get storms. The severe potential is what I should say. We get closer to about, let's say, 6, 7, 8 o'clock or so. Most of the severe risk is starting starting to shift east, and we still could see a little bit of lingering moisture tonight. Overall, though, we clear out tonight. We start off tomorrow morning quiet and then rinse and repeat through the afternoon. Another level 1 risk outline there for just about all of us. That timing about 3 to 9 p.m. Gusty wind is going to be possible, and we could see some small hail. Almost a spring-like pattern if you kind of think about when we get those storms bubbling up. We have, though, bumped up to 70 in Durham and Raleigh. We're at 69 in Goldsboro, 68 in South Hill, 63 currently in Roxborough, with the high temperature right about 81 expected this afternoon. We drop a little bit tomorrow, though, into the upper 70s with cloud cover still trying to hang on. We should get some sun, though, through the weekend. 80 on a beautiful Sunday. And then look at next week. Sun, more sun, but hot there, Ken, into Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, someone wants to crash the party, right? Listen, let's get right to an incident that we've been monitoring just a little bit ago. We're being told that at least one lane is blocked as a result of this crash on I-40 eastbound near Airport Boulevard. You can see the delay stretching all the way past the I-540 interchange, almost all the way back to the I-885, I-40 interchange. So right now, we're not seeing any delays as you get to the area of I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Traffic still flowing nicely in both directions. I'll see that there's a camera in that particular area of I-540 to see exactly what we're going on. But as far as other major routes coming into the capital city, very little to no delays whatsoever.
Ken, thank you very much. All right, extended DMV hours. More locations will be open tomorrow for additional walk-in time. The changes coming to the state institution along with some new leadership. Plus breaking news, 3 people shot in Durham. A man and woman were killed. Details just ahead.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
The time now is 8:26. I'm Eric Miller. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione is tracking the chance for some severe weather this afternoon. Anthony.
Well, Eric, likely coming in here, I would say between about 4 to 8 p.m. is what we're looking at for this next system. Otherwise, we're going to go for highs in the low 80s today. Shouldn't feel too uncomfortable in that regard. If we see some sunshine peeking out, though, consistently through the next couple of hours, which is the expectation at this point, that would lead itself to this severe storm risk that we have outlined from the Storm Prediction Center. If we keep the cloud cover in place for long enough, that may help to limit it. So we're going to be watching that as we go through today. And then into tomorrow, still a potential for some strong storms.
Happening now in the WRAL traffic center. We'll focus on that situation in I-40 eastbound. It's a situation where we're thinking that it's the shoulder that's actually blocked. You see the delays it's causing all the way back, going back to the I-85, I-885 interchange. But that's what I'm talking about. It's right there off to the side of the road. So really nothing that's going to make you late this morning, just in case this is part of your morning commute. I'll have an update on your morning commute coming up at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Ken, thank you very much. One person is dead and 2 others are injured as police investigate an overnight shooting in Durham. This happened on Romont Drive near Whippoorwill Park around midnight. Police say the 2 people hurt were rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. This morning at 9:30, we'll hear how North Carolina's new DMV commissioner plans to improve services at the agency. Paul Tyne will be joined by Governor Josh Stein at this news conference. Tyne will address what's being done to deal with those ongoing DMV challenges. Coming up next on Fox 50, a crash takes down a utility pole in Raleigh. And up next on Today, Sebastian Yatra performs on the Today Plaza. Stay with us.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, 3 people shot inside a car in Durham. 1 man dead, 2 women hospitalized. The ongoing investigation this morning. And more breaking news, power lines down after a car crash in Raleigh. The impacts we're monitoring near Rock Quarry Road.
And this morning, radar is mostly quiet, but we do have some strong storms on the way through this afternoon. We're going to walk through the latest timing on Futurecast and a look at the weekend coming up.
And an arson investigation underway right now in Wake Forest. Those new details we're learning after 9 cars went up in flames. We've got a lot to get to today. We appreciate you sticking with us on Fox 50. I'm Eric Miller. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione tracking some significant weather for us this afternoon. Anthony, the real chance for severe storms is later today.
It's between about 4 to 8 p.m. is when we're highlighting here for that potential. I want to start us off, though, with radar, because we actually have, in all honesty, just a little baby shower that has popped up here the past little bit. It's just south of the city of Raleigh, or at least downtown, I should say. There's Lake Wheeler Road, of course, Garner, you can see on your screen. Very, very limited coverage, but if you're out and about, you still could be seeing some sprinkles in this area. Timber Drive right there, also seeing some light areas of rain. That is about it for us right now. The potential still there for a spotty shower over the next hour or so. It's this afternoon, though, once we get kind of all of the initial clutter, if you will, within the atmosphere cleared out of here, that we could see another line trying to form later on today. If we can keep those little areas of rain that are out there right now in some spots holding on longer, that would be a very good thing. It may help to stabilize things. Here's 5 o'clock. We start to see that line approaching the western parts of our viewing area. 6 o'clock approaching Raleigh, for instance, there, and it continues to push on through. Some of those cells, if they're able to stay a little bit more discreet, could be on the stronger side just by themselves. But if it combines into a line, that may lend itself more toward a damaging wind threat. 9, 10 o'clock this evening, we start to quiet down, and then we have a nice start to the weekend on the way. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes, Ken.
All right, Anthony, happening now. The WRAL Traffic Center want to stay on top of that situation that we've been monitoring here in the eastbound lanes of I-40 eastbound. We're told it's right near Airport Boulevard, and right now you can see it's really in the clearing phase on the shoulder of the road. That's the highway patrol that's working that scene. We are seeing that a little bit of a delay going back toward I-885 and I-40 this morning, but nothing really that's going to make you late. Here's the rain that Anthony just talked about. You can see it coming down courtesy of our live cat network at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see traffic is really beginning to slow down as a result of that. In terms of other major routes coming into the capital city, our friends in Wake Forest, you just have a 3-minute delay coming in on Capitol Boulevard, US 1, if you will. Over in Durham, really very little to no delays what we're seeing if you're heading into the Bull City this morning. You're getting ready to head out the door, though. Tune us in on the radio at all times, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you very much. This morning, we're tracking multiple breaking news stories across our area. One person is dead, 2 others hurt after a shooting in Durham, and multiple vehicles on fire following an incident in Wake Forest. And in Raleigh, a crash bringing down power lines on Rock Quarry Road. We want to start, though, with that scene in Durham. WRAL's Allie Cadlabar live from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker on Romont Drive. Allie.
Yes, and just in the past 30 minutes, a tow truck has actually come and picked up that car, the car where police found 3 people with major gunshot wounds. Now, we want to take you right to this video where we got an up-close view of this car. You can see a major hole in the back windshield as well as multiple bullet holes in the car. Now, Durham Police Department says that this happened around midnight, so they've been investigating for the past several hours now. And they found a man and 2 women inside the car with gunshot wounds. They were all taken to the hospital. The women, they had serious injuries, and the man later died at the hospital. And we spoke with several neighbors in the past few hours, one of which says he heard the gunfire and was just shocked at what happened.
And it was very loud. I was actually sitting on my back porch out here. And the shocking thing is that even in this neighborhood, it's not that much stuff goes on. So it's actually very shocking to hear these shotgun shots. It was really crazy.
Again, we've spoken to multiple neighbors here. One neighbor just across the way from this incident says that she was woken up by multiple gunshots and she was just terrified of what happened. And we know that what happened down the street, this car we saw just moments ago, and we also did speak with another neighbor who believes that this is a very safe neighborhood. She's lived here for 15 years. So she was shocked to find out that this crime, that a major shooting happened right here on this street. We're going to keep you guys updated throughout the morning on the latest updates. Reporting in Durham, Allie Cadlabar, WRAL News.
Allie, thank you very much. To more breaking news now. Hundreds of people are without power after a car crashed into a utility pole in Raleigh. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live on that scene on Rock Quarry Road. Kelsey, power crews have been making some progress out there.
Yes, Eric, they have. More than 200 customers are without power in this area, according to Duke Energy, but that's much better than before. It's about 300 less, actually, than the original number. But we'll give you a look now at this scene where you can see crews here working to restore power. Duke Energy says that they are estimating that folks will get their power back by about 9:15. So you can see how that car hit the power pole. There's some serious damage to the car. You may not be able to see it, but there's debris just scattered all over the ground here. The driver is in the hospital this morning. And then just to give you some perspective on where we are right now, the crash happened right in front of Redeeming Love Missionary Baptist Church here on Rock Quarry Road. So for now, traffic isn't impacted. All of these trucks here are parked in the right lane, so traffic is able to move smoothly. We'll be sure to keep you updated on that driver's condition, and we're also working to find out what led up to this crash. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Yeah, we know Kelsey will be staying on top of it. More breaking news now. Just after 3 this morning, 9 vehicles burned in a parking lot of a Wake Forest business. Authorities are treating it as a possible arson. This happened outside North State Pools on Capcom Avenue. The Wake Forest Fire Marshal is investigating the cause. Durham police are investigating after somebody was shot in a suspected drive-by shooting on Crest Street. These are photos from a home on that street hit multiple times by gunshots. Police say they were called to that shooting around 6:30 this morning. Officers on the scene tell us the person had been shot in the leg. Police also say that person was shot several hours before the 911 call came in. New this morning at 9:30, we'll hear how North Carolina's new DMV commissioner plans to improve service for customers. Paul Tyne will be joined by Governor Josh Stein and Secretary of Transportation Joey Hopkins. Tyne will address what's being done to deal with those ongoing DMV challenges. It begins at 9:30 at the DMV office on New Bern Avenue in Raleigh. It comes as the DMV is preparing for walk-in hours at 20 offices starting tomorrow. Locations include Clayton, Durham East, and Johnston County. Those offices will be open from 8 a.m. until noon through August 23rd. One man is accused of hitting a firefighter with his car. This happened in Fayetteville. Earlier this week, there was a gas leak on Legion Road at Ireland Drive. Legion Road was shut down by fire crews. That's when authorities say this man, Ramon Bonilla Soto Jr., became uncooperative. When a firefighter from Pierce's Mill Fire Department told him he couldn't go down the road, Bonilla Soto tried to cross the median and then hit a firefighter. That firefighter thankfully was not seriously injured. Bonilla Soto is now charged with assault with a deadly weapon on a government official. The Wake County Animal Center is asking for help as it approaches critical capacity. It's a problem the Animal Center has seen multiple times in recent years, in part because it can't turn away pets that are brought in. Right now, the center is caring for more than 230 dogs and nearly 200 cats, among other animals. Construction on a larger facility is in the works, but the center needs additional space right now.
It's in the budget. It's on the books. You know, we're trying our best to get that happening as quickly as we can. There's just, you can't just snap your fingers and a building pops up overnight.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. If more pets aren't adopted soon, the animals run the risk of being euthanized. You can browse those animals online. Adoption fees are being waived until June 8th. New details now on what happened when a murder suspect died inside Durham Police Headquarters. Officers arrested 19-year-old Joshua Farmer on May 14th and charged him with murder in connection to a shooting on Dayton Street. That shooting left a 17-year-old dead and a man with injuries. Police say as they prepared to transport Farmer, he grabbed an officer's weapon and in the struggle shot himself. The SBI is currently investigating this incident. The state is explaining what went wrong for the roughly 40,000 students affected by a computer outage this week. This happened during those end-of-grade tests. The Department of Public Instruction says a system error caused the NC Test software to not function correctly. That's the platform that schools use for various standardized tests across North Carolina. The outage lasted about 40 minutes. Schools had to decide whether to pick those tests back up today or start over. Today, we may learn who the next Fayetteville police chief will be. City leaders are holding a news conference at 12:30. Former Chief Kim Braden retired after serving 2 years there. Assistant Fayetteville Police Chief Todd Joyce has been serving as the interim chief. The cash reward has doubled in the search for the 2 remaining escapees from a New Orleans jail. Crime Stoppers leaders now offering $50,000 per fugitive. Today marks 2 weeks since 10 inmates escaped through a hole behind a toilet inside their cell pod. So far, 16 people have been arrested and accused of helping those inmates escape. The sheriff's office is calling for immediate infrastructure investments to try to prevent future escapes. Well, some good news for baseball fans. Today, the College Baseball Championship Tournament will begin, leading up to that College World Series next month. UNC will be hosting a first-round regional. Their first game will be against Holy Cross today at noon in Chapel Hill. ECU will then be playing Florida today at noon in Conway, South Carolina. NC State's first game will be at 2 p.m. against Stetson in Auburn, Alabama. And Duke opens the tournament tonight at 6 against Oklahoma State in Athens, Georgia. Still to come, Spire on fire. A church in Ohio goes up in flames before crashing down. The investigation this morning into what caused that major fire. And it's a picture-perfect sunset. The Earth aligned during a rare occurrence in Manhattan, the moment that draws photographers to the city each year. And you might see some spotty showers this morning. Taking a live look out there in Wilson, meteorologist Anthony Baglione times out the chance for afternoon storms just ahead.
.45 here on this Friday morning, where we are looking relatively good to go here for the first half of the day. There's just a little bit of light rain that's still trying to hang on east of downtown Raleigh, but this is right around I-440. You can see right there, Pool Road, very limited coverage, but just enough where it's coming down. You're going to want to keep that in mind and just take it slow on the roads out there. 81 degrees for us as we go for high temperature today. Keep in mind, we have potentially some stronger storms on the way later on today after about 4 p.m. up until about 8 p.m. this evening, with some damaging wind gusts as our primary threat. There could be a brief tornado or two. There's Futurecast. You can see that line starts to get closer. 5 o'clock pushes across the central parts of our viewing area here closer to 6, and then it starts to move out by the time we get to late this evening there, Ken.
Hey, Anthony, we got a real trouble spot brewing on I-87 in those northbound lanes. Here's what we're talking about. There's a vehicle fire that the 9th Fire Department is working right now. You can still see the bump and slow-moving traffic there on those I-87 northbound lanes. As you look at a live traffic map this morning, you can see the huge delays it's causing. So if you're listening to us on the radio and you have not gotten to the Smithfield Road exit yet, you might want to get off on Smithfield Road as an alternate route to get around the slowdown you're seeing on I-87.
Ken, some good advice there. The family of a man who died in a crash after being chased by State Highway Patrol is calling on the trooper and his supervisor to be fired. Body camera video from the Highway Patrol and Raleigh Police showed the trooper's supervisor telling him to lie about what happened, then following through on it. Wake District Attorney Lauren Freeman decided not to file charges in that case. Tyrone Mason's mother, Henrietta, called her out for that at a press conference yesterday.
You told me you was on my side, but no, you're on the side of the state troopers, the men that lied.
Freeman said lying is not a crime and that the family's attorneys are misleading the public. She's already dismissed nearly 200 cases where the troopers were involved. See our complete coverage of this case on WRAL.com.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, terrible flooding in Nigeria has claimed the lives of 88 people. 88 bodies were found in Nigeria, a small town there, a market town, after days of rain turned into flooding. I want to show you because this happens in the rainy season every year in Nigeria. And this was a picture from last year when this very same thing happens. Torrential rains come down. Local government officials said a dam collapsed in a nearby town as well, made the whole situation worse. 50 homes were swept away, and that this particular town is a meeting point for a lot of traders in the area there. This is a picture from last year after a dam collapsed and how people made their way around there during this seasonal flooding. Last year, 1,200 people were killed in one incident of flooding and 1.2 million people dispersed.
Yeah, some dramatic scenes there. A year of both progress and big new challenges. That was the message from Raleigh and Wake County leaders at the annual meeting of the Raleigh Chamber of Commerce. Among the biggest challenges laid out, federal cuts, which have hit Wake County public schools especially hard. The chair of the Wake County School Board says the district has watched millions of dollars in grant funding disappear, and he's bracing for more. Local leaders say housing in the area also remains a major challenge. The city and county are both spending millions of dollars trying to build or promote new affordable units, but demand keeps outstripping supply. Fire ripped through a historic church in the community of Maria Stein, Ohio. Just take a look at this video. Smoke and flames could be seen roaring from the roof of the St. John the Baptist Catholic Church there. Workers were on the roof replacing shingles when they saw smoke and called 911 around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Officials say nobody was inside of the church when it caught fire. Investigators are working to determine the cause. A tour announcement, a chilling horror film, and a star-packed murder mystery. Ashley Dvorkin has all of the latest in today's Hollywood Minute.
We're a team.
All systems go.
A-list stars investigate. Davidson goes for scares, and Mendez celebrates in the Hollywood nation. Shawn Mendes is going back on tour and back through time. The singer-songwriter announced his On the Road Again tour will celebrate 10 years of music, chart-topping hits, and career milestones. His journey begins in Europe this August before bringing the shows to North America starting in Boston September 25th.
There's something very wrong with this place.
Pete Davidson trades in the laughs for terror in today's first looks. Davidson stars in the horror film The Home, playing a young man sentenced to community service at a retirement home, where he uncovers the dark secrets behind the facility's mysterious fourth floor.
Oh my God. Isn't this room usually for jigsaws?
Not on a Thursday, no.
A-list sleuths dive into a deadly mystery in the trailer for The Thursday Murder Club. Helen Mirren, Ben Kingsley, Pierce Brosnan, and Celia Imrie star as a savvy group of retirees who go from solving cold cases for fun to cracking a real-life murder in their own backyard. The book-to-screen adaptation premieres August 8th on Netflix.
Now we've got a real case to solve, isn't it wonderful? Obviously, R.I.P. and all that.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
All right, a magnificent moment here for people in Manhattan. Twice a year, the setting sun aligns with the Manhattan street grid, giving onlookers a dazzling display as the sun sinks below the horizon. It's a moment that draws people to the city, hoping to capture that perfect picture. The next occurrence should come in just a few weeks on July 11th and 12th. Well, Anthony, I don't know if we're going to have any great sunsets here this evening. We're talking about some pretty severe weather moving in later.
We are, yeah. Just depending on the timing, we may actually in some spots later on have that potential, just depending on how fast this line comes through. If it zooms on by, then we may have a little bit of lingering cloud cover left, and I could see us having a decent sunset. By and large, though, yeah, for sure, that's going to be our main focus is the storm potential later on today. Look at radar, though, where we sit right now. We're really quiet, but there's a little bit of light rain that's just still hanging on east of Raleigh. It's just a little rogue shower that has just continued to push on through. Going through today, though, the thing to know here, again, we're going to see a lot of dry time up until this late afternoon. 4 to about 8 p.m. is the time period that we're watching for some strong storms. All of us are in that level 2 risk, including, all of our viewing area, but then western North Carolina, there's a sliver that's in that level 2. We should get another update from the Storm Prediction Center anytime. And they mentioned in their discussion with that risk earlier this morning that they could consider bumping it up depending on how things evolve today. The evolution is going to be determined, I will say, with if cloud cover sticks around, we may see the severe threat a little bit lower. But let's talk about what that means. Here's Futurecast right now. So we still have the cloud cover with us during the next few hours. If we see any peaks of sunshine, which this specific model's kind of back and forth on, that will re-energize the atmosphere, and that is the expectation right now, that we'll get some more fuel, we'll get some storms to come in, kind of combine with that, and some of them could be a little bit stronger. The latest model is trying to keep some of these cells a little bit more discrete rather than a big line. I still think the majority of this is going to be almost more linear in fashion as far as it pushes through in kind of a gusty wind potential, but if they stay a little bit more discreet, there could be a greater tornado threat. So that's something we'll watch just depending on how this evolves. Again, 4 to 8 p.m., I just would make sure to stay weather aware tonight. We're going to be watching this, of course, all day long. There's a look at closer to about 10 o'clock this evening where we start to see that cloud cover pushing on out. Over the next 7 days, though, 81 degrees for us today, 78 tomorrow. We get to 80 on Sunday, 82 on Monday. Our temperatures continue to heat back up big time there into next week, 91 by the time we get to our Thursday.
Roaring back. Anthony, thank you. And before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic just ahead. Stay with us.